workshop by Sky Schools. So Sky Schools is all about prevention and stopping or teaching children to deal with their emotions earlier than they would have had to do 20, 30 years ago. But nowadays, with all the conflicts, different socioeconomic backgrounds, different parenting structures and backgrounds, experts have decided to go into schools and work on it, and especially in America. And they go to the poorer areas as well. So it was originally called Yes Schools. I don't know if any of you ever heard of that. I haven't. But they now call it Sky Schools, and they have for a while. But I'm going to show you a short video just to give you an idea. You'll hear some kids talking too. What else can I say about it? They're now in Europe. They want to collaborate with universities in Europe, with experts in Europe. So, for example, the workshop I was involved in, there was a German professor of psychology, there was a psychologist from Poland, an expert from Switzerland, then there was a medical anthropologist and on mental health and agriculture in, he was in Munich as well, and then UCLA as a psychiatrist and they all have different areas of expertise. Some of them are collecting information because what they're going to be doing, hopefully in our school and a few other schools in Europe, is experimenting on us. They'll go into different groups of students, and one of the groups will be focusing just on sport. Another will be focusing on breathing. Another on education. How can I ching? Then they're going to collect the results. And of course the results are always going to be breathing activities. It's actually breathing. It's not just sport. You breathe when you're doing sport, but conscious breathing activities. So anyway, I'll show you the short video. No, because it's now here. Did you check the sound? I do. I've organized the sound.
Schools is a nonprofit program that helps schools to build stress-free, violence-free learning environments.
We're equipping all the individuals in the school to really take ownership and responsibility to transform their own lives in really practical, daily, simple ways.
The program gives young people strategies to manage their stress and negative emotions like anger, fear, frustration, anxiety, depression.
What's so unique and really the secret to Yes for Schools is such targeted breathing techniques and other relaxation processes that allow us to eliminate a huge amount of stress from the system.
It really helps. It really helps. It keeps you focused. You won't go into emotional breakdown. After, everything seemed so clear. I was more intent and focused on everything in the room. I could see things more clearly.
Neurotransmitters are the chemicals that are released, in the space between the two brain cells. Under stress, what happens is cortisol is released, and the cortisol interferes with the functioning of the neurotransmitters, so the brain cells can't communicate with each other, which means you can't learn new things, and it means what you know you can't draw on.
In order for you to be academically successful, it's important for you to be in a really healthy emotional space.
Yes goes a step beyond any other program that I have ever seen anywhere in the world, because it partners the physical processes with the social emotional learning.
When you're in a situation and you don't know what to do, you kind of just react on whatever first that comes into your mind, an impulse to fight. Now I can, solve that in my head and be like, you know what, maybe I should do something else. Maybe I should just walk away.
once you really find that you're happy with yourself and you don't really care what people say, you're just like, you do your own thing. You don't follow people's paths. You don't do nothing. You take your own path. You take control. It's a good feeling. You're happy with yourself.
I've seen this work for so many young people so consistently that I know without a shadow of a doubt that this is an answer that millions of people around the world are looking for.
If we can deliver these techniques to all of these innovators and all of these students, that we will see transformation in education that we've never seen before.
If you think about it, who wouldn't want that? More ways to make you, your life easier. More ways to make you a better person.
Okay. So yeah, it was very American, but it is nice to hear. It's very positive. So anyway, so as said, this was a workshop. This was a 3-day workshop that I did online, and Bill Herman, actually the co-founder, he was actually in charge of the whole thing. So I felt quite privileged to have been part of this. So I'm going to kind of treat it like I'm explaining stuff to you, but maybe every now and again we'll do little exercises, and maybe Karen and Els, you can keep an eye on the time if I forget. So the very first thing we did was we were asked to work in little pairs. So we were put off into breakout rooms with one other person or 2 other people. What do you search for in a life partner? What qualities are important? So do you want to do that just as a quick warm up? Because you're all tired after lunch. So just talk to each other. Just anything that comes to mind. What qualities do you need in a life partner? And I'm not talking about somebody that you have sex with or whatever, somebody that you want to spend the rest of your life with, whether it's in a sexual way or a good friend or whatever. What are the qualities that are important to you? So really quickly, just the adjectives.
Reliable.
Shout it out.
Reliable.
Talk to the camera. What do you support?
Patience. Yeah.
Compatibility.
It's also important to
Friendliness.
Okay, you might get a minute more normally, but let's just throw some stuff on the board here. What did you come up with? Just shout words.
Understand loyalty, confidence, companionship,
6.
sense of humor.
You participated with yourself.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
Respect. I looked at you and you were working. I thought you were.
It's not the same.
Empathy. Listening.
Common interests. Common interests.
Blah, 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 right? Perfect, right? So you can see that these are universal. This is what we came up with. These are universal values, right? I will put this on eTwinning. If you want to sneak photographs every now and again, these I'll be taking out because that's direct plagiarism, I suppose, of my workshop. So I don't think that's a good thing. But exactly, and what Bill said is this is just universal. Okay, culturally or religiously there might be a few differences, but we're all coming up with the exact same things. We have the good listener, we've got the honesty, we've got the loyalty, and. It's all there. Right, so we are all the same essentially. But why can't we always be like this? Why aren't we going around smiling all the time? What's the problem? Besides, well, that's exactly what it is. This everything we've done. Today's is Carrie. Carrie's not here, unfortunately, because I wanted to say a lot of what she talked about earlier on is happening here too. So exactly, the Chikwafi, right? So everyday our work life is taking over from us. So, yeah. We're going to focus on one part of our everyday life that I think all of us talk about all the time. What could that be? What are we most? I mean, of course, we're scared, we're angry, we're worried, but mostly we are.
Stress.
Surprise, surprise. So, what's the result of stress? What does stress affect? Now, again, it was another case of, actually, I think we did this as a full group and we all wrote down stuff. We can shout stuff to each other now really quickly, but like stress. Well, what does stress do to us? What's it doing? Just shout stuff.
It shuts us down.
Yeah. What else?
Brings anxiety.
Yeah.
Worries.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's stopping this stuff. It's stopping our life from going, it's stopping us from having time to care or love people. Yeah? Anything else? Lots of stuff. Wake up. Right. Okay. So, stress, of course. This is the stuff, again, that we came up with. If I had given you more time, you would actually come up with some of this stuff too. Of course, this shouldn't be here separately, actually. It was just, there wasn't that much room on the page. But of course, we might drink more, we might take more alcohol, we might do more sport. Some people go the healthy route, which is too extreme. We overeat, we undereat, it affects our decision making. And yeah, what we do affects, of course, students. And that's why it's so important. Sky Schools also trains teachers, so we teachers can be more focused in the classroom and not maybe react as badly at times, especially in stressful times, because they parrot us. They don't just parrot their parents, they parrot older people. Okay, moving on. So yes, I need, volunteer. Somebody like to come up here too. It's only a mini little thing.
Yeah, volunteers.
Who wants to come up here?
Victim or volunteer?
Come. Come, Christina.
I was volunteer.
No, just one. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. So you were 12. You were 12 years old. Okay. You were you when you were 12. Okay. You when you were 12, right? And I am pushing your buttons. I'm trying to make you angry. I'm pushing at you. I'm joking at the way you look. I'm telling you that you're no good at school. I'm just doing something. I'm just pushing and tweaking.
Yeah.
How would you react? Or how did your 12-year-old self react?
I would cry.
Wow, interesting. Okay, and I keep pushing, you just stay crying.
Yeah, I just take scissors and cut your hair off.
Good that we didn't meet
I did
until
it.
then. You did that?
I did it when I was 12.
No, you can stay. You did that. Good
You
Lord.
did that? Really? You did that?
Yeah, in the bus.
Okay. So you were pushed that far.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and all of you, I'm sure, are thinking, oh, well, I'd react differently. So there's fight, flight, freeze, whatever. Hands up here who would have fought back. Hands up who would have gone, yeah, screw you. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Hands up who would have left the situation, just completely shut down. Yeah. See? And some of us still do things like that today. We're still our 12-year-old selves in many ways. Thank you very much. I forgot about your leg.
Great example.
So, what did I get out of that situation with Helena? What did I get?
1 year less.
Huh?
1 less year.
One ear less. But besides that part, what happened there for me? Yeah, I'm pushing her. I got a reaction. She cried with me. She didn't cut my hair. But what did I get out of this fight with you? pushing and I'm pushing and pushing and
you
you're
were
crying.
bullying me.
Huh?
You were
Yeah, I
bullying
was
me.
bullying you, and what do I get out of that?
Power.
Power.
Satisfaction.
Yeah, satisfaction. I won.
Yeah.
I won. I got what I wanted.
No.
Do you want that?
No.
You gave me the control.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
literally gave it to me.
Mhm.
And that's what Sky Schools is all about, teaching kids not to necessarily react in situations like that, in situations where there are bullies and so on. What happens but you were in a horrible situation, and it happens to us as adults too. What happens to us when we're in a situation like that? What happens to us? Like I'm Helena, what's happening to my body right now, or my mind, what's happening?
As adults or as children?
As children, as adults too, what's happening to us?
You'll think you're less than somebody else.
You think you're less, so you're starting to feel bad about yourself.
Lose your self-confidence.
You're losing your self-confidence. What else? What could be happening to me maybe physically?
Or blood pressure?
Blood pressure is going up, even as a 12-year-old is going up. What else? Your heart is beating really, really fast. Yeah. What could be happening as well? Maybe here, or here, or here. Tension in your body, yeah? Tension in your body, and you're starting to sweat. Okay? All this stuff is happening to you. Your eyes are dilating. Everything is happening. All this stuff, whether it's fight, freeze, flight, it's happening to you. It's happening to all of us. So then what happened in the workshop is we were given the homework, right? Can you be button-proof for 24 hours, right? And I did this with my students. Just this part, I did an experiment with my students. This was a couple of weeks ago. And I was talking about can you be button-proof for 24 hours? And that literally means, can you go home today, and even on the walk home today, and not react or overreact to a friend or a parent? So for example, I say to Els as your mother, go clean your room. That you don't do the usual yeah or whatever. That you actually, you are aware of your reactions. Whether it's a passive-aggressive reaction, which is the yeah, or whether it's, you're always asking me to do that, or whatever. To actually just be really, really aware, right? And I'll tell you afterwards what happened to me as a teacher, by the way, after I'd done this exercise with the kids. So what we're going to do now, just as a practice, this is what was done to all of us in the group. So you sit down in your chairs, right, and your feet are flat in front of you, your palms are up, absorbing from the universe or whatever, right? Sit up straight, kind of feel like that too. No, not like that, just feel like the tip of your head's kind of been pulled up. Just go like that with your shoulders a little bit, kind of relax them. Okay, I'll do it too. Right. Well, I think we've done something similar like this before. Okay, so everybody say, right. Think of Gollum from, what's it called?
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, right? And everybody go, or like that. So you're doing that here, right? So you can feel it's a different type of breathing. Right? You've got it? Now, without saying hello, see if you can breathe like that. Close your mouth through your nose, right? So it's kind of like. Some of you might feel that's a little bit tight. Try and relax it a little bit, okay? And what you can do if you want is you can put your left hand just, on your tummy. Just above your belly button, right? We're going to do this 10 times, okay? Just a deep breathing, nice and slowly, so. right, you can open your eyes again. Okay. So just a little bit of feedback. How did that feel for some of you? Good? Anyone else feel something different besides
Yeah, I
good?
almost fall asleep.
You almost fell asleep. That's very interesting. You too? Okay.
Always make it good.
Good, so it was relaxing.
More relaxed.
Did anybody have more of a butterfly feeling, an uneasy feeling in their tummies? Okay, good. Just happens to some of us, so. Right, so that's okay though, this is all good. So what is then, you practice that with students, and I actually, this is my thing, I practice that with students, and Yala was laughing and so on. And I did it and I stayed calm throughout the whole thing, but I reacted to her after doing the button proof, and I said, yeah, and it wasn't Yala, sorry, it was Mia. And I was, Mia, you know, all I had to do was give feedback and say, Mia, you know, it would have been nice just not to disrupt your table partner, you know. But I didn't. I went a little bit further and I realised she had pushed my buttons and I had reacted. And that's how easy it is for us. We're stressed. And I was a little bit stressed, even though I found this important and fun to talk about with the class. I was stressed because we're on a time limit. I had to get so much done, and I was trying to leave, you know, 20 minutes for this, and you're just, oh God, I have to get this done, and then there's the paperwork to hand out or whatever. So yeah, so it's really easy to lose that. So maybe we could all do that as homework between now and tomorrow and see if we can stay button proof. I mean, we're pretty, you know, nice and everything like that, but still it can happen. Yeah. For example, myself and Stefan all the time. Maybe we can do 24 hours of button proof with each other. So yeah, victory breaths. Do that before you go to sleep. That's actual real homework. You do the 10 victory breaths before before you go to sleep. For some of you, I mean, for everybody, it should help relax you. But for some of you, it also is a kind of a quick bit of energy. Especially if you're stressed. I was talking to Morgane yesterday, and she said, we wear Els, and she was saying what she does when she's stressed is, what was that again? The swimmer, the Wim Hof method. It's another breathing exercise. And so she was talking about that. So it is good to just stop and breathe. And I think a great one was when you gave us the kind of, that one. I haven't done it in a long time, but I really found that good for waking me up, and you forget, you're not as stressed then. Okay, that's moving on. So, did I move the right way? Maybe not. No. Okay, so what's the vagus nerve? I was going to go into explaining it all to you, but I've decided that the internet can do that a little bit better. So, if you don't mind, it's the last video I'm going to show you, but I think it's important because Sky Schools isn't just, well, none of it is just ching-ching, but it's also scientific, so that's what's great for encouraging schools, especially ignorant, older people who are high up in the school community. It's good that they see a scientific side so that they're encouraged to maybe bring something like this to their schools. So.
Science has acknowledged a mind-body connect as early as 1872. The Orient has had the knowledge of this important connect for thousands of years and has succeeded in developing some powerful techniques to help modulate the mind through the body and vice versa. The human body is a miracle in action. The human nervous system is made of more than 100 billion nerve cells. The nervous system relays information from the brain to the body and back. One of the most important command central for bidirectional communication between the brain and body is the vagus nerve. A nerve probably 99% of the population never heard of nor have a clue of its location. So what is the vagus nerve? Vega in Latin means to wander. This nerve wanders around the body, impacting major organs This being the longest cranial nerve, it controls all involuntary body processes such as breathing, speech, swallowing, heartbeat, blood pressure, hearing, taste, circulation, digestion, and gut health. It also controls bladder movement, orgasms, and fertility. A healthy vagus nerve allows us to access the parts of the brain responsible for creativity, higher cognition, and complex decision making. In the absence of a healthy vagus nerve, we only end up having access to parts of our brain that control primal instincts like fear and fight or flight response. Hence, a healthy vagus nerve is essential for leadership and decision making. The functioning of the vagus nerve can be impaired by stress, anxiety, poor lifestyle, smoking, drinking alcohol and overworking, lack of exercise, proper nutrition and sleep. When the vagus nerve is not able to perform to the best of its ability, the body and mind become susceptible to a range of diseases like depression, anxiety, obesity, cardiovascular disorders, hypertension, diabetes, digestive disorders, chronic inflammation, kidney malfunction, infertility, and even Parkinson's. Doctors have started stimulating the vagus nerve with electric impulses from a device that increases its activity to help with diseases like depression. However, there are natural ways to stimulate the vagus nerve as well, such as breathing, pranayama and meditation, exercise, yoga, omega-3 and probiotic-rich diet, singing and chanting, splashing cold water, laughing, hugging, massages. One of the most effective ways of vagus nerve stimulation is through breath. A powerful breathing technique that has positively impacted millions of people around the world is the Sudarshan Kriya Yoga, taught by the Art of Living Foundation. When one undergoes Sudarshan Kriya Yoga, their breathing and heart rate slows down. The vagus nerve then gathers a signal from multiple organs from the body, notes that things must be calm and restful. It then passes on this message to the brain, which 9 times out of 10 will listen and then allow us to relax, rest and digest. Regular practice of Sudarshan Kriya activates the vagus nerve and has shown to have relieved depression in over 67% of the study's participants, decreased the release of the stress hormone cortisol by 56% and reduced anxiety in 71% of people. It improves deep sleep and hormones that contribute to well-being. Due to the activation of the vagus nerve, one experiences tremendous benefits after Sudarshan Kriya Yoga, like stress resilience, improved immunity, happiness, creativity, stronger relationships, and ability to handle situations. The vagus nerve remains one of the most well-kept secrets of the human body. Love and empathy, a sense of connectedness, intuition, and mental and physical well-being all become integral parts of life when you keep the vagus nerve nurtured and activated.
This one? Oh, you can't see.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll just move it down. Sorry about that. So breathing. And that's actually what we're going to do now again, because my first one that I did with you, the one that you do before you go to bed, has made some of you a bit too tired. So we're going to do a round, right, of different breathing, right? It's going to take 10 to 12 minutes at the most. We're going to do one round again of the victory breaths, so you can either sit like that, absorb everything, or be aware of your breath and one hand here high up. The second one is called candle breath. We will only do this once 10 times again. The second one is the candle breath, and we do three rounds. Now the candle breath looks like this. Okay, so it's, right, you put your head down here, and you go, and then you go. So what you're doing is you're breathing in and up, and then you're blowing a candle out 8 to 10 times. You can do it slower than I just did. We could do one together, so. and then okay, we will do that 3 times. I'll guide you in that. What we are also going to try and do is just keep our eyes closed the whole time, because then you get the whole experience without being distracted. And like Fernando already said, noise is okay. Noise is our friend. We're never going to be able to get rid of it. Then we have the power breath, which is going to wake you up. And for the power breath, I always need it, because I think I have a nervous nose, is a tissue, right? Because the power breath, okay. So the power breath is not for people with high blood pressure, okay? Because I am not a qualified trainer, right? But this is what I do every morning. This is part of my breathing routine. Is, right, you relax your shoulders, you put your hands here, and what you're going to be doing is you're going to be breathing only with the nose, and you're going to be breathing in. Okay, so it's a breathe in, and then it's a blowing out. But it's a little bit harder than that, right? In the sense that you're going a little bit, you're breathing, you're more aware of your breathing, so you're kind of going, no mouth.
No
So.
mouth. Only the nose. The nose only.
Yeah. Yeah? So
Make it all come out.
it's hard, yeah, it's hard to get used
Yeah,
to.
it's
And
hard to keep them out,
exactly, and don't worry, you might end up making some snorting noises, like something like that. Don't worry, it happens. Okay, so it's, again, we'll just do one more practice of that. So hands out, you're loosening up when you go up here. Yeah? Okay. So again, we're going to do the what do you call it? It's called victory breath here. It has loads of names, right? I'm sure Fernando has another name for it. Then we're going to move on to the candle breath, which is the mouth. And so this one 10 times. The candle breath, we're going to do that then 3 times. 3 times. And then the power breath, we're actually going to do 3 rounds of 20. Yeah? So try and keep your eyes closed for the whole time. And at the very end, I'm going to give you maybe not the full 5 minutes, but a couple of minutes just to breathe, where you just relax. And you breathe at your own pace. And what you could do is what both Fernando did with us and what Karen already said to us. You can scan yourself. Just scan yourself, see how you feel. See if it's done anything, see if, I don't know. And it's, hopefully it won't put you back to sleep, but it should just make you aware of how that is, what that has done for your body. Okay? So, we shall begin with the victory breath. Right, so again, close your eyes, just take a normal deep breath. Now try with the victory breath, which is almost like snoring. Breathe in, breathe out. In, out. In, out. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Final one, in, out. Okay, now we're going to do the candle breath, where you use your mouth, so you bring your chin down to your chest. Take a deep breath in with your mouth, and blow. Repeat this 3 times, your own time. to do is we're going to hold our fists by our sides, by our shoulders. Take a normal deep breath. Remember. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to, when I say breathe in, you go up. So breathe in, out, in, out, in, out. Just your nose. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Breathe. Just take a deep breath. Relax. We're going to do it another time. Okay, you ready to go for round 2? Okay, in, out. Yeah, and I kind of say to myself that I'm breathing out all the bad stuff. So you kind of feel like you're cleansing yourself at the same time. I find that's a routine that you could also do. It takes 40 days, they say, for a routine to become imprinted on you. But it's a very short routine. Okay, we should have been at it for about 12 minutes. Well, 10 to 12 minutes we weren't, because I think I'm too fast too, and I should have had my phone on me to let you relax really for 3 minutes at the end. But the whole idea is 10 times victory, 3 times candle, and then the power breath, and then just a bit of a break. And it might mean you start thinking about school or whatever. Just let it go. The thought is there, and then just wave it goodbye or whatever. Do this before you've had your coffee or tea. And don't wear leather. Leather is seemingly a blockage when you meditate. It's best not to wear leather, they say. But these people say that. It's different for everybody. But this would be very, very vegan anyway.
But we can do it at night, right?
Yeah. And the victory breath you still have as homework for tonight. But of course, a lot of people, especially people with children, do it at night. When the kids are in bed and they have time for themselves, because it gives them a little bit of energy themselves to kind of have a bit more time with whatever they do in the evening when the children are in bed. I'm not going to do this with you now. But another thing we dealt with was what is sound, and then 5 or 6 different pieces of music were played, just the beginning or the middle. So there was classical music, there was jazz, there was really dramatic, death metal, and then there was kind of, a bit of hip hop and really slow stuff. And we were asked afterwards, where does the music affect you? And it is weird, but when you're doing exercises, breathing exercises like this, you become aware of where sounds are affecting you in your body. It's not necessarily the same for everybody, but next time you listen to music, see where it's affecting you in your body, because it is quite interesting. And then it's actually a great exercise for kids. That's a lovely warm-up even in class to do. I do music and I get them to draw in art class. It's a great thing to do, and I think it's a type of art therapy because it's not graded. It's just, right guys, we're going to do 10 minutes or 5 minutes of get a pen out and, kind of divide your page. Oh, geez, this nice paper. Divide the page up into, let's say, 6, and you play 6 short pieces of music. So what I do then is I would play my music. I play the stuff I like, and then they have to just react to it, yeah? And for the last one, which is something different, I leave the music on the whole time, and I give them a little bit more time for that so they enjoy it. But you could do it in English class, and they have to write adjectives, and it's an adjective practice, or they have to talk about their feelings or whatever. It's great. Now, I'm glad Fernando is here, so I'm definitely not going to go into detail, but the kind of the which is a mix of A-U-M. The I don't know, I really don't want to do it with you, but if you make the sounds kind of like you talk about where the sound, you feel the sound in your body, the you or ooh, where is it in your body, and the where are you feeling it? And there are, am I right here that the A is for the waking and the U is for the kind of the dream state? So the ooh and the is for the deep sleep or something. Can you explain more about that? Like,
Sure. So what I know, it's a primordial sound. So
Yeah.
they say that when the galaxy was created or the universe was created in the Big Bang, that's the sound that it was created.
Yeah.
So every time we recite it, we go back to the origin,
yeah.
and it brings us back to that original peace and balance.
Yeah.
Of things.
Yeah, and it's just so interesting. I'm just glad you're here. I can't talk like that when you're here because you know all
Well,
this
please
stuff.
do. You're doing amazing.
No, but that's something that we practiced as well. We did this on the online thing, sitting there in our, offices or whatever, all going, but it's great. It's great. I always feel great after doing it. I'm trying to get the same pitch as everybody. This is all part of the ritual as well, that if you were to do this easy one, that maybe just before you go to power breath, you could do the 3 times. There's something about the number 3. They love the 3. Everything's in 3s. I mean, we could all do. No, we won't. We won't do it now. But anyway, so
We can do it in the mountain.
we can do the mountain. Thank you. Thank you.
Marian,
Okay.
and I don't know. Do you know why people do this?
There are, what I learned was there are different ones. Like I do this a lot because that's for the back. It helps your back automatically. Well, automatically, I don't know, but I don't know. Maybe it makes you sit up. There are different meanings, aren't there? For the I can't remember.
So there are mudras and there's acupressure points.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
each of the nerves correspond to different parts of your body. So depending where you want to stimulate.
But because sometimes it can be like this, and yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it stimulates different organs and different emotions.
I can research that because I have it written at home
Yeah,
and I can
awesome.
write it into
Yeah.
this because that is interesting. I always go like this now because I heard universe. So I
Yes,
just have to take
I
it
like
all.
Yes, I like this.
Yeah, yeah. And this I do sometimes if my back is at me. So, and then there's a so-ham, or so-ham or so-hum. And this is all about the breathing activity that we were doing there, the kind of the victory breath. So that so-hum or so-ham. And so there is a guided meditation. There are many guided meditations, I'm sure, but this one that I follow comes from India. And that is, so you're breathing in, somebody, you have your somebody is guiding you and they go, so ham. And while they're doing that, you're breathing in with so ham. You breathe out. You don't speak, you only use your nose. And then they kind of start going, so ham, so ham, so ham, so ham, so, and it gets really fast and then really slow. It's so freaky the first time you do it. I'm not doing it with you, I'm not qualified. It is brilliant. It's such an experience. But again, breathing, right? So the second day, I see the time, the second day we were asked what we were grateful in our lives and we were put off into breakout rooms. How does it feel when you're grateful? So it's positive. What are the 2 things I complain about? This was a partner work. And how does it feel when I complain? Let me see the time. No, I'll just continue talking, will I? Yeah. So, that was done. I can actually show you an example. So, when you're grateful, this is what people came up with. You feel positive, lighter, your heart is full, you feel warm, you feel pleasant. It's such a wonderful feeling. When you complain, you're just you're frustrated, you're angry, you're stressed, you're disappointed. When you complain, you also feel like you're better than the people you're complaining about, or better than the situation. You know better, Damn school. I know how I'd run a school kind of thing. You feel also powerless, right? Again, this is going back to Karen's presentation. So, when you complain and you walk down that way, you're stuck. What do? You just complain. People listen to you. It's great. Yeah, yamas, whatever. But you're not getting anywhere. So, the solution is, of course, to take responsibility. That's not easy in our job, by the way, right? That's all I'm saying. But that's what these trainers of Sky School will try and help us with. Taking responsibility and deciding what is important and what isn't. Like Karen said there earlier on, that week just changed her life, made her realise she took responsibility for herself. That's exactly what she did, and that's what we all need to do. So, what two personality traits do you have that you would like to get rid of? We all have something. We were put off in breakout rooms, and it was like Karen said, it's so nice. I think that's why teachers get on so well, no matter where we come from. We complain about the same things. We want to change the same things. We have the same type of students. Everything is the same, and that's why there's such a bond. So I was talking to this other teacher from Poland, and just want to make sure I didn't forget anything. And she was fascinating, and it's just lovely to hear about other people and what they want to change. And then you're going to go, okay, I want to change the same, or it's just good. And what two personality traits would you like to grow? What would you like to develop in yourself, right? And in your life. I've missed a couple of things, but it's okay. You're all tired. Right, so what do you all know about growing? What do you all know about gardening? What do you need for gardening? What do you need to be a good gardener? Tell me, because I don't know. What do we need? Seeds. Yeah.
Time.
Water. Time. Soil. Water. Soil. What do we do with the seeds? We plant them in the soil. And then what do?
We water them?
We water them before we wait. We water and we wait. Exactly. What are you doing while you're waiting and you're watering? What are we doing?
We're weeding.
We're weeding around them. We're weeding around them. We're taking care of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right?
I sing to them.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, what Nando was saying yesterday, there is the experiment that guy did as well, where he shouted at one plant and he didn't shout, he was loving to the other, and that plant died.
Yeah, that works. I actually tried that.
I can't. I
I'm
just
sorry,
have
I'm
the heart.
sorry.
No, that's great. I'm glad you did.
Yeah, and they say it's carbon dioxide that helps them grow, but obviously positive carbon dioxide. So, I am the intention, attention, manifestation. Exactly what we are doing, what we do when we garden. We have the seeds, we nurture them, we water them, we wait, we weed, and then we watch the growth. We manifest it, right? So what are we constantly manifesting when we are complaining? When we are stressed? We're manifesting all the negative. So no wonder we're always making the same mistakes. You know, no wonder we're always, oh my God, you know, I don't know, I said yes again when I shouldn't have, or I've taken on another project that I shouldn't have, and so on. So it's really, really, really important that we nurture the correct thing, right? So qualities that we don't like about ourselves will grow just as fast as those we do. So if we continue to nurture them, we have to be careful. Our mind is a fertile soil. Then we got homework. What does it feel like when we are respected and disrespected? So it was always like thought-provoking things. 10 times victory breath, that's homework again. Yeah. Day 3. Okay, what is this? You know, what is this?
Hurricane.
This is a big hurricane, a big storm. Right, and what's happening all around here? Wind, chaos, craziness, stress. What's happening in there? Calm. Everything's calm. That's where we want to be. Okay. So there you go. And what are the sources of energy? We had this yesterday with Fernando, so it's checking to see if you can remember. I'm going a little bit fast now, but
it's okay.
Yeah, but I'm seeing some of you are tired. But sources of energy. What do we need to exist? Sun. What else?
Uranium.
Friends,
Okay. Exactly. We need all these things, right? How long can we last? You did this yesterday already. How long can we last without water? A few days. How long can we last without food?
A few weeks.
Yeah. How long can we last without yoga, meditation? We don't know. We wouldn't be as happy without it, though, right?
There you go.
How long can we last without breathing?
A few minutes.
So, that kind of thing. Yeah, and move on. So there are just some examples, right? So we've got the movement. So awareness is energy, is breath. Breath is energy, which is awareness. So that actually should be just in a circle, because that's what it is. If you are aware of your breathing, you're giving yourself energy, it's making you more aware. If you're not doing that, I know myself, when I stop and I breathe, I'm brilliant. Yeah, but when I don't, I wrap myself up and I just get into a tighter and tighter circle. And I know I can get out, because I know I now have the tools and I've had them for years. But it's still sometimes really hard for me to jump out. You just get caught up in your, I don't know if it's your fundamental personality type, or it's just your the way you were when you were younger, and it's so hard to kind of get rid of that cloak and kind of say, it's okay, I don't need that anymore. It's almost like a comfort blanket to smoke more cigarettes and have another beer or whatever. But yeah, so there you go. So there was a lot of talk about that. Then he went into kind of, blame, complain, resist, what happens to you physically and mentally. It's all talking about the road again. So if you take responsibility for yourself, that you're empowered, you have a high energy, you're more compassionate, you don't feel so self-righteous or angry or frustrated and so on. So it's all about choice, and we do have the choice. We sometimes think we don't have the choice. We do have the choice, you know? And we need to sometimes be selfish, that was mentioned earlier as well. We need to choose ourselves, and yeah. Final tips that need to be practiced. We need to practice compassion, yeah. What I think is really important, and it's something that you were saying, was it earlier, Christina, or yesterday? What do we do when people are toxic? What do we do with toxic people? It's not our problem, and mostly it's not about us. They're toxic because they're unhappy, or there's something going on in their lives, or they see us as the perfect weak person to take it out on. But it's not personal. We shouldn't take it personally. And I actually don't anymore. I just sometimes I just sit back and eat the popcorn and watch them and go, oh, it's interesting. So don't see the intentions. There's no point. It's this whole thing again about think less. What's the point in thinking about, God, what was he thinking about me? Or what was she thinking? And I shouldn't have said that, and maybe I should have said that, and I should have stood up. It's all too late. It's over. It's done. And don't see the intentions behind other people's mistakes either. It's nothing we can do. We can't control other people. We can only control ourselves. Victory breath, candle breath, power breath. You can do it. I decided to be all American at the end. That's it. Yeah. So I'll show you the final thing. We're not going to do it, but this was the final thing that I did on the third day. It was the victory breath. Which I personally do a much longer one, but this one was 10 times. Candle breath, which I don't do, so it's quite an interesting one. And then the power breath. Then we moved on to the 3 times. The came after the power breath. And then we did the sky breathing again. What it is the soham, but it's done different. So the soham was what I was saying, this could have soham, and you're breathing like that. This is 20 big circles. So you're just sitting there and you're going, you're just breathing normally 20 times, right? Then you're breathing a medium 40 times, and then really fast. As fast as you can for 40 seconds, and then you go back to the big circles again. Here you're only doing it once, I do it more than once. and then you just rest or meditate or whatever for 5 minutes. But I think if you guys can manage doing the victory breath tonight before going to sleep, and maybe at some stage, maybe taking a photo of that already and trying that when you get home or something, it really, that as a morning routine, while your coffee is on, while your coffee is being made, you could actually cut it down to maybe 8 minutes like I did, and maybe even just do 3 rounds of 10, although I do recommend 3 rounds of 20. And then just rest for 5 minutes. And actually, when I do this one, what I do, because I feel like that's not long enough and whatever, I stretch. Because I've got, my main problem is in my neck, and I stretch, I breathe, and I count here, and then here. And that would be my 5 minutes, because I don't have that much time in the day at the same time, so I'm trying to get out of it sometimes. But when I do my normal routine, I don't do the extra stretches. So that's basically it. That's what it's all about. They train us teachers to be calmer, and I think in turn they also give us the tools to train young people to be calmer and to stop the problems before they start. So they start in primary schools. Our school isn't a primary school, it's a second level school. But the whole idea is getting them used to meditation and are used to breathing activities. And I am 100% sure that even in our school that's multi-culti and all different socioeconomic backgrounds and students with horrible home lives and it is possible. Because in the Erasmus group, our kids immediately, they're up and they're doing some sort of a yoga thing with each other. And in my own class, it's not as fluid there yet at all, lack of time. But I do bring in things, and we have practiced things. I think kids nowadays are more open to trying new things as well than I think I would have been as a teenager. I think actually when I was a teenager, meditation was against our religion anyway. I don't know. Anyway, I'm done. That's it. So that was my experience, and it is combined with something I have experienced before, but I am very excited to see if this will work in our school. And if it doesn't, what I'm hoping to do with any leftover Erasmus money is maybe organise that a few of us can be trained as Sky teachers. Because I think that this is very beneficial, especially for a school our size. Yeah. So, any questions?
Excellent.
So how are you going to implement this at GLS? Is it just you, or is it several teachers?
So, well, Udo is involved and Babette wants to be involved, and we will get more teachers once it starts. So the plan would be they would choose 5 classes. There'd be a placebo class and then 4 other classes. One of them would be practicing breathing, one of them yoga, one of them education, and maybe a second one that's doing breathing. A combination of activities. And it would be, I think, over a 2-week period every day, which is difficult because we can't make students stay longer. It will be done in not just sports class, it will be done in English class, it will be done in French class or whatever. And getting teachers on board. That's the experimental side of it. The actual teacher training, I don't know yet. I really don't know. We're just hoping to get this. It's a 3-part application, so they've submitted the first one. We should hear this week or next week. If we go back to the next stage. So I'm really, really hoping that we have. Yeah. But if we don't, as said, I really would like to be trained. I'd like to get training in this. Because I think that not only colleagues, but students are they're burnt out themselves. I mean, I'm an art teacher, so we always get the crazies. We always get the, which is brilliant. They're great. But we do get the ones who do have, their emotions are much, much closer to the surface. But what we have now is insane. It's so many students with mental health problems. So many students scared of presenting, scared of coming to school, scared of this, scared of that. Yeah. So.
I have a question. This Sky Schools organization, what kind of organization is it? Is it a non-profit organization or is it a private company?
No, it actually is. It's non-profit, and that's why they need the funding. That's why they need the support to start it off here. But they get a lot of private funding. They are supported, and they are also part of the art. They are part of the Art of Living group, as far as I know. And the Art of Living is a non-profit organisation. It's a meditation. The focus there is meditation. And it's an original American group, but they're now, as I said, working with universities and schools in Europe. And of course the Germans, first question was, what about data protection, which is an issue. They are, I don't know what way it's being done, but they say that data protection, nothing will be sent back to, or will be publicised in America. That they keep it, they go by the European, yes, when they're in Europe, they'll be going by the European laws of data protection. Yeah.
Mary, did you apply for this training? Yeah.
No, I will if I do. We will hopefully get some if they get the accreditation, or if if their application is accepted. But if not, I will apply for it. Yes. Yeah. 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 There's no real travelling involved in this. They come to us.
Just internal traveling.
Yeah. 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 Any other questions? There you go.
Thank you.